Facebook's Oculus virtual reality headset officially launched today, but how much do consumers really care about VR technology? Joining us now to break it all down, talk everything VR, Mark Spoonhour. He's editor-in-chief of Tom's Guide. So, Mark, first of all, tell us about the Oculus VR headset and the impact it could have on Facebook, which owns, of course, the company. It bought it back in the day, and now it's making a big bet on it. What does it mean for VR overall, and what does it mean specifically for Facebook?
Sure. Well, for starters, our review is out today on Tom's Guide, and we're definitely high on the design. A lot of people talk about the geek factor with VR headsets, and they've done a nice job in terms of making it comfortable, and you feel a little bit less like a cyborg versus some of the earlier versions that we saw. And the content is pretty compelling too, especially games. The other social experiences are going to come later. And as far as Facebook goes, this is definitely a bold bet on the future. This first Rift headset is really more about early adopters and gamers and people who own a high-end gaming desktop. But when you think about it within the context of everything else that they're doing with the Gear VR and Samsung, I think that they're really planting their flag for the future of content.
All right, so you mentioned a whole bunch of different competitors, if you will. You've had some real hands-on experience with virtual reality headsets. So how do the different models really out there compare? I mean, we know you mentioned Samsung. We know you mentioned Alphabet/Google. There are a whole host of them out there. How does the landscape set up now, given Oculus VR's releases?
Sure. Well, I think a good way to break it down is that there's headsets for gamers like that you have with the Rift, and the HTC Vive is coming online, and the PlayStation VR. And then on the mobile side, you have the Gear VR and Google Cardboard, which is really more for immersive experiences on the go. You can take that with you and plug your phone in. So with the Rift, its biggest competitor, direct competitor, would be the HTC Vive, which will be out in a couple of weeks. And there is a price difference between the two. The Rift starts at a fairly hefty $599, and the HTC is even more at $799, but there are some benefits that you get with that. They include the touch controllers that put your hand in the VR action, which is really cool. With the Rift, you're going to have to wait for that. And even more important than that, HTC is going to ship a couple of base stations that go in your house and actually map your room so you can walk around in that VR environment. The Rift doesn't offer that capability, but they have a lot more developers in their pocket, so people are going to have to figure out what's best for them.
All right, so based upon what you just said, it really seems like this whole market, and rightfully so, is in its infancy, right? The market for virtual reality headsets is really just getting started. So what should investors know about these types of headsets, the gear, who makes them, and what their possible apps are? Are they going to have an impact on the companies that own them later on down the line?
Yeah, I think the impact is going to be huge, especially for Facebook and Oculus, because you have to think beyond games. So it's really great with titles like Valkyrie, where you can feel like you're a Star Wars pilot and shooting other people down. But I think it's really going to get more interesting when multiplayer gets involved, and also just social experiences beyond gaming. So let's say this time next year, as a Villanova fan, I'd love to join a VR room of other fans that I used to go to school with, and we can cheer on our favorite team. Or you could watch Batman versus Superman and trash it together with your friends. So it's really important to think beyond games and which developers are going to be delivering those experiences. And so Facebook and Oculus really need to invest in those in order to bring VR to the masses.
Obviously, this Oculus VR launch is going to be a highly watched one for Facebook and for all those VR fans out there in general. Thank you so much, Mark Spoonhour, for joining us. That's Mark Spoonhour, editor-in-chief over at Tom's Guide. And thanks for watching. I'm Dominic Chu. Have a great day.
Hey CNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Here you're going to find videos packed with all of the information that you need to be smarter about your finances. You can subscribe by clicking right here, and click on all the videos around me or the eye right here to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.